Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show. We are without Ray tonight. Golf clap for that. Show rundown. We are Celtics 76ers reaction to that series going games, 6 games for no absolute reason. Alex Cora finally out, fired as the manager of the Boston Red Sox. The Patriots draft and the recourse that is still going on with Mike Vrabel. The Bruins are still alive. We've got 10 questions from a guy named Rob. Edited by a guy named Dick, and Simplest Minds of the Week. This is the Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, live Tuesday night. Welcome to the show. Good evening, Bobby. New room?
Evening there, always is.
What do you think Ray's doing right now?
I think he's trolling the zesty scene of Myrtle Beach.
I thought you were going to say he's texting you more names of boys that he likes.
Oh, I forgot that one. Yeah. Yeah, we do that on Tuesdays. It's Wednesday.
That's right. We had to switch up the days here. So if you are joining us tonight, thank you for that. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, do the algorithm thing for us here at the Simple Mind Sports Show. We're bringing you live content every Tuesday, potentially Wednesday, but usually Tuesday at 8:30, and catch us all on your socials as well. Rate, subscribe, review, tell your friends, tell your mothers, and tell them about the Boston Celtics, who continuously toot prove us right going through these 2026 NBA playoffs in their degradation back to bad habits. They lose game 5 at home, 97-113 to the 76ers in what I would call embarrassing fashion, specifically in that fourth quarter where they only put up 11 points, 4 combined, I think, from Brown and Tatum.
Made 2 shots.
That's not what you're looking for. If Ray was here, he would tell us that in basketball, if you don't score more points than your opponent, you lose. So, what's your? I've got the blame pie here. I've got 5 pieces of the blame pie I'd like to talk about. What's your opening take, critique, criticism, thoughts of that Celtics Game 5 loss?
I would call it mental midgetry at its finest. They actually had the ability to go in, close out the series, get some rest. Well, the rest of the Eastern Conference fights it out. All these series here in the Eastern Conference playoffs, they've all been competitive. They look like they're all going to get pushed out. They had the ability to close this out, and instead what they did is the same thing that they always do. They came into the second half and acted like they were the Boston Celtics and the Sixers should just roll over. They'll let the corpse of Joel Embiid sit there and make bunny shots left and right. They forgot how to aggressively attack a big in the NBA, which is something that I understand that doesn't need to happen, but you could do it. You don't pass the ball away from them all the time. If you're missing every single 3 to your shitty players that can't shoot threes anymore. And of course, Joe Mazzulla has no answers to any of these questions.
Yeah, you covered all the bases right there for sure. I'll just start rolling down the blame pie, but I'm gonna start at the end, and everything you said is correct. But there were tests that we wanted this team to take and pass in the playoffs, and I think we have our answer. And they can go on, maybe they can go on to the next round, maybe get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Inevitably, everything that you just said is going to bite them in the ass and be the reason why they are knocked out. And to me, the final answer to that is they're just not a good team clutching late. They don't know how to finish. The sample size is big enough. Now, I think there's one potential solution left for that, which we can talk about when we get there. But as the Celtics are currently constituted with Brown, Tatum, and Mazzulla at the helm, they are not a good team when it comes down to clutch and late. It's just, how much more do you need to see? How much more do you need to see? And I think, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they're driven by analytics and a singular philosophy. They don't have a multiple system where they can pivot to do different things when certain things aren't working.
Yeah, so let's get to that blame pie. And we're going to start where we always start. We're going to take a look. What was the 3-point Celtic barrage situation looking like in Game 5? The Celtics shot 11 for 39. Now, 39 attempts is lower than what we normally see, usually in the 40s. But their shots overall were only 89. So shots in general were down. 11 for 39, which was 44% of their shots taken. That's about normal for them. Here's the problem. They shot 28% from behind the arc. That was evident for anybody who watched the game. And if you've watched this show and our super analytical corner, when I bring you statistics from the internet, the Celtics have never won a game under the Joe Mazzulla era where they've shot 28% or less from the three-point line. Fact. Now, the actual fact is they've won 4 of those games. I did the actual looking up today, but the percentage is so low, and it sounds so much better to say never that I'm just going to go with never. They never win when they shoot 28% or less, which is fairly obvious for us math guys, because when you're shooting 50% of your shots from behind the line and you only shoot 28% of them, that's boys high school basketball numbers, which we found out for the nerds doesn't work. We're on fire with this show. We're smarter than basically everybody else. I have the right camera on. Ray's not here. I'm clicking the right buttons. I think just all around, I'm really proud of us and myself, and not the Celtics for not listening to us. Your thought on blame pie number 1?
Spot on. I mean, honestly, there isn't any other. I say this in jest, but I actually think it's right too. There isn't any other show in the fucking world that understands the Celtics more than us. Okay, we get them, we understand them, and if people would just listen to what we say,
it's true.
They would get it.
This is a real struggle. And Boston
I've been
Celtics,
right on the Celtics for years.
Yep.
I have pointed this out.
I am actually concerned for the residents of the greater Hartford area when Joe Mazzulla gets the Coach of the Year award for the residual fury from one Robert Vine that's going to embark on that community.
No, yeah, there'll be the air of cuntiness will be even greater felt than it is right now when I roll down the street.
Yeah, it'll smell like raised taint after a brisk walk. That's the denseness that you'll get on that. Blame pie number 2. We go to the fourth quarter, right in line with their opening take. They're 2 reliant on their system and their 3-pointers. That has been made evident, and sooner or later they will come around to us. We just told you there's not enough people that are critical enough of them in late game situations and learning how to beat a team and close out a team. And this was the latest example. They were outscored 28-11 in the fourth quarter. No execution. Their offense bogged down. We've seen it all before. No adjustments from the coach, which we're getting to him really quickly. Interesting that he's not higher on this list for me, but I think it certainly starts with those two. Core philosophy and the tenets of your players. Your philosophy is too rigid and too stubborn, and your players lack a fortitude in these close and clutch games.
Yeah, it's fair to put a majority of this on the players. When Tatum and Brown don't score a point in the fourth quarter, that's difficult to lay all on Mazzulla. At some point, they are out there playing the game, and they have to deal with it. Derrick White continues to kind of like suck at shooting. He should just probably not do that as much. So there is certainly some blame for the players here. But yeah, this is what he's drilled into them in his time at the helm. That's how he wants them to play.
Yeah, my next piece on that is the role players. Derrick White is struggling mightily. Payton Pritchard goes off in Philly in game 4 as a 30-point game and then comes back. And look, this is why Payton Pritchard is who he is. He is a streaky offensive performer. And I have heard so many people second-guess Joe Mazzulla on this point directly, that Payton Pritchard should have got more playing time in the fourth quarter. Again, are you just looking at the box score and the minutes played, or did you watch that game? He couldn't score either. He was shooting poorly too. The only thing else,
too much. Sorry to cut you off. He played too much in that game because he had a good game previously. He let him run wild. He probably called his own fucking shot.
And the segue into this is blame pie number 4 is Joe Mazzulla, and the lack of feel for the game, or maybe he just, whether he lacks the ability or that's just not their philosophy to actually change things mid-game and to ride it out and let the course lay where it is and let the numbers speak for themselves. Your team is struggling. You can feel that Philly run coming on. Your offense is poor. So I don't think Payton Pritchard would have made the difference, because I don't think he was having a good enough game to make the difference. But those guys weren't doing it. Make a substitution, call a timeout, run a play, stop the bleeding, do something different. Never mind on offense. How many times did we need to see Nikola Vucevic get his ass dominated like your mother on a Tuesday by Joel Embiid, who doesn't have a stomach at this point coming off of surgery? Like, maybe he's not the best guy to do that, or double him, or do something.
Anything. Embiid can be rattled. Bring someone off the bench. Bring Shireman off the bench. Let him run in. Throw an elbow in his chest. Do anything. Bring some guy off the bench. Bring in the rookie. What's the crazy rookie? Let him go in there. Yeah, exactly. Let Hugo go in and rough up Embiid for a little bit. He dictated the whole tempo of the game.
Absolutely. Just again, so they do lack size. They do lack low post perimeter defense. The best guy they have is Keita, who's not that great. He's more of an off-ball defender, but he's got size. That kid can't stay out of foul trouble. He's got 4 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the game. But you've got the rookie down there, Amari Williams, who's like 7 feet, 6'11". Like, he's got height and a little bit of size. Let him go expend his 6th foul. Let him Greg Grease in this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Don't even let him put his back to you. Just hack the shit out of him. Like,
bingo.
Do something, Missoula.
Exactly. You put a few hard hits on Embiid, he'll start crying and whining, and he'll get out of whatever zone that he was in, because he was in one. He was in one. Knock it out of him.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That was the Horford. That was my, for the last several years, the number one reason I wanted him to keep Al Horford was for Giannis defense and for Embiid defense.
Yeah.
And they just don't have a guy like that. So you can't just, play 2 for 3, and if your threes don't fall, well, then I guess we lose. That's the way they play basketball, and it's no way to win.
No.
Which is my beautiful segue into my last point. And they call it a make-miss league a lot down there, and you hear that in newer NBA circles. It's make-miss league. You make your shot, you win. You miss your shot, you lose. Which the past 15 minutes of us talking is bullshit. Everyone knows that's bullshit. And I think they know that it's bullshit. They just fall. If you listen to any of the press conference after this game, that was their basic sentiment. Look, they played well. We didn't play as well. We missed some shots that we like. We like our looks. We just didn't make them. That's the whole sentiment of Celtics basketball when they lose. It wasn't them. It was us. We just didn't make the shots that we had. We had everything we wanted. Shots didn't go down. Make or miss league. What do you want from us?
It is literally. I fuck the NBA if that's how they actually think. It is miserable. If basically they think that a game is boiled down to it has nothing to do with one-on-one athletic competition, just shut down shop. Call it. It's an Olympic sport. It's all it is a shooting competition. Why are we even calling it a game?
Yeah, no, it's and whether they believe it or not, or whether that's just their excuse. I don't know. Either way, it's not good enough. And look, 76ers shot 36% from 3 on 42 attempts. That was their offense. They were on fire. But your defense didn't do a whole lot to stop them. They were playing that drop coverage. Payton Pritchard admitted they got lackadaisical in the third, which is exactly what you said. They got to the third quarter. They said, look, we're in Boston. Look at all the banners up there. You guys need to just go away. But we've seen it time and time again from this team. You shot 60% from the free throw line. You just didn't take that game seriously. You expect your opponents to go away because you are superior, and you prove it over the course of 2.5 quarters, and then they come back and kick your ass. And this is almost a decade of this shit with Brown and Tatum. I'll give you the one potential fix: a good coach.
Yeah, that's it.
If you just had a good coach for 5 minutes of these games, you'd have probably 2 championships under your belt, and 100%. These guys would be killers.
Yes. If they had someone that was able to, over the course of a season and over the course of an off season, build in a mentality that of how we're going to adapt when situations don't happen, of mental fortitude, and of then in crisis, in times of crisis, come up with a solution instead of saying the same thing over and over again.
Yep,
that's it.
Yeah, and then positive reinforcement,
Yep.
positive reinforcement. It's like, no, like that's, there's a shelf life to that. I think we've seen it.
Mhm.
The only good news here is now they go to Philly in game 6, which is, knock on wood, really been a coffin for the 76ers,
Yeah.
certainly against the Celtics. Track record there for Tatum is really good. And then, Embiid's the big question mark. And you had this question here in 10 questions, but can Embiid repeat that performance? The impact of that performance, I would say no, but I think he can put up numbers against this team. And I would expect him to be approaching 30 and 12 or something like that, but I don't know if it'll have the impact it had last game.
I don't think he'll have the efficiency. He could get the numbers, but not the efficiency. He was extremely effective and efficient.
Yeah, well put. So there you go. Celtics blow another one. Just extending the minutes played for their stars here as they move to the first round of the playoffs. Thursday night, they take on the 76ers, try to close them out in Philly. Go ahead, slap the subscribe button. If you're here with us live, we're going to come back, talk about Alex Cora. We'll be right back. Timing. Impeccable. God, the show's so much easier without Ray,
I know. When you lose the dumbest person, it always goes better.
Yeah, we're just rising all tides. We're rising all tides right now.
Yep.
Speaking of rising all tides, the Red Sox are trying to attempt that. Even my segues are fire. The Red Sox are attempting to rise their tides with the firing of Alex Cora, which has been years in the making. Seems like this guy was making enemies with everybody that crossed his path. All while underachieving as an organization, as a club, and as a manager. Alex Cora finally gone. They released him Saturday, April 25th. It was, I'll give you my opening take on this. It was the right move for all the wrong reasons. If there's optimism as a Red Sox fan that Alex Cora is gone and this team is going to be steered in the right direction and on the right ship, I would say hold on to that thought for a second here. There's the major problems on this team remain, and perhaps they've lifted a cloud or a veil of just kind of shitty, pouty behavior that Alex Cora was holding on in this organization, and you get a little a breathiness there, but they still have major problems to address, which I want to touch on some of that. But baseball, Bobby, what was your initial response to the firing of not only Alex Cora, but every one of his crony coaches? That was
the entire staff, essentially, yes.
Yeah, which is you do not see that in baseball. Like
I've never seen an entire staff removed in anything. So there must have been some fun stuff going on behind the scenes there. But if I'm just going to look at this from kind of a 1,000-foot view, this team sucked for a long time. So it seemed like a pretty obvious decision that this should have happened. If I'm a baseball fan, I don't expect much to happen with a quick turnaround. This isn't the sort of sport where you could just fire the manager and they could just change tactically how you were doing and get a different result. Baseball is a skill sport. These new coaches aren't going to make their pitching, hitting, and fielding skills significantly better in any time.
No, I think that's right. And your biggest it's all about talent in every sport. We all know that. But specifically in this sport, as an individual talent based, it's basically a one-on-one game for most of the game, pitcher versus batter. And they just don't have enough talent. And the quote unquote talent that they do have, I think, is problem number 2 that they need to address. So I'll get to that. What I want to take this from 3 different angles: the firing of Cora angle, the management / ownership angle, and then the players angle. I think there was some interesting stuff out of all 3 of those. Before we do that, just a little baseball news. The new head coach is named Chad Tracy, which never heard that name before. Sounds like you're not striking fear into your opponents with Chad Tracy.
No, when you have 2 names and two first names in a name in general, bad. But when they're both kind of names that like that, like
you're on Chad.
Yeah, Chad Tracy's here, guys. Oh yeah, put your phones away. Whatever.
Okay. Showing up at his Vineyard Vines nut huggers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell you, he got him off to a 3-1 start, including some wins over the Blue Jays, who have been terrible this year, and the other ones were the Orioles. So again, pump the brakes on Vineyard Vine Tracy turning this season around for the Red Sox, especially with the latest news after that. It's Garrett Crochet getting the 15-day IL. So with good news comes bad news for the Boston Red Sox in the news department. Alex Cora gets fired on Saturday. So a little aside, I was actually at that game in Baltimore. Ray was with me, and the Red Sox won 17-1. The ninth inning, they put a positional player in there, and he was just doing eephus pitches. So he's throwing 47 mile an hour pitches, and everyone's not a lot of baseball people. I had some friends down, and they're asking, what the hell is happening? Why is this guy doing this? So I'm explaining. This is a positional pitcher. It's harder to hit a 47 mile an hour ball than a 80 mile an hour barrel ball. So he's just throwing as slow as possible. So
it's just the timing's so messed up. They're just not used to hitting a pitch that slow.
That's right. They kept him in the whole inning. If people saw the game, sorry, I'm repeating this, but I think it'll be funny for Bobby. They scored 10 runs in the ninth inning on this guy throwing 47 miles an hour, but he did get 3 outs. So like, that's just how hard it is to play baseball. This guy throwing like a 5-year-old got 3 outs on a Major League Baseball team. So kudos to you, I guess. But the first batter was Trevor Story, and he got 2 strikes on him. The first one he like launched foul. Second one he whiffed on, and the Baltimore crowd's like, "Oh, we're gonna see this guy strike out in this 47 mile an hour pitch. This is unbelievable." Next pitch, cranks it 425 feet.
Dinger.
I just started cackling laughing. Cackling laughing. The Baltimore crowd did not necessarily enjoy that, but we were feeling okay at that point in the day, so it didn't bother me one bit. Then we leave the stadium and find out after 17-1 win against a division rival, they can Alex Cora and all of his buddies. What a world we live in as Boston Red Sox fan. Just to give you a little dip back into the Alex Cora era. He was a manager here for 8 years, made the playoffs just 3 times. One of those being in 2018 when they won the World Series with what many call one of the most stacked baseball rosters in a long time, if not all time. And he was suspended 1 year for cheating. People forget that. It was COVID. People don't, we forget.
A lot of weird shit happened then.
Totally.
Remember the bubble?
He is owed $13 million through 2027. Just 27 games into the season here, the decision was made by Craig Breslow. Cora's response, I think this was the first thing we heard from him publicly on X. He tweeted, quote, "happy."
I'm sure he was.
Like, what a dysfunctional piece of shit operation the Boston Red Sox run. You fire Alex Cora, 27 games, and his first response is to go on social media and write "happy." Fucking A. He did go on to write something a little bit more appropriate. He says, "Gracias for making us a part of you. Hashtag Red Sox Nation. You are the red heart emoji of that team." He posted to X, "Keep believing you really care, and that's what pushes everyone in the Red Sox to give it all day in and day out. With respect and love, AC." So a quick little nod to the fans. Not a whole lot to say about the organization, obviously. Simply put, I don't think Alex Cora was real beat up about losing his job, but he's owed $14 million over the next year. All those guys underneath him aren't. They don't get.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, third base coaches don't have guaranteed contracts.
Alex Cora already declined a job offer. Like, he's just going back and chilling in Puerto Rico for the next year. He doesn't give a shit. But every one of those guys who got fired with him is on the horn right now. Like, you guys need some help. So Alex Cora, I think inevitably his time with the Red Sox will be looked at as overrated, underachieved, and he was just kind of a prick about the whole thing. Kind of a whiny prick about the whole thing.
Felt that way. And absolutely overrated, especially if you look at the results.
Here's the juicy part for me. The way management is speaking about this, Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow had a press conference in Baltimore. At the time, they were on camera and gave their response, and then they answered some questions. I just found this out today. In the literal shadows of that press conference stood the corpse of John Henry and Tom Warner, the ownership group, didn't have the balls or wherewithal to like not be there at all or actually sit at the dais and be a part of this decision, but they were there to make the decision, and they literally stood in the shadows as Sam Kennedy and Breslow, took the heat from the media.
So wormy, so bad.
I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
No.
He's just like Mr. Burns, like in the creeping over the shoulders of his management, making him know that he's there, but no, will he not? He will not take any type of onus for this decision. No, nope. Sir. Sam Kennedy goes on to say, Craig Breslow leads our baseball operation, and he's made several bold decisions and recommendations, and this was one of them. And we fully support it. And that's why we took the action we took on Saturday. Says, yeah, look, Craig leads our baseball operation, and I just read that. Sorry. Fully support it. Let me translate that for you. The GM of the team wanted to fire the manager, and as ownership, you said, you're a baseball guy. We'll follow your direction. Sure thing, Craig. Wipe our hands clean of it. Alex, we'll pay you your money. We didn't want you gone. Craig wanted you gone, and he's in charge of baseball. So what are we going to do? We're not going to stand in the way of that. Oh, by the way, Craig, when this thing comes toppling down, you're the next one to go because we don't have
you. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking slime
because you put some guy named Chad Tracy in it. Woo.
Look, we like Chad.
Yeah,
we're not a big fan of Tracy.
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. So Breslow got an answer. Like we mentioned, Alex Cora was fired, and most of his staff was fired, but not the guys on the pitching side, which were more Breslow guys. So Andrew Bailey and a lot of his staff were more Craig Breslow hires, not Alex Cora hires. So there was a clear divide here. Like, this is just a power struggle. Cora lost. But when asked about it, the question was on keeping the bulk of the pitching coaches despite the challenges on the mound. Craig Breslow answered, sure, it's true that we've fallen short in terms of the performances across, hitting, pitching, defense, and base running. What a fucking unbelievable assessment and line from your GM. Hey, why'd you keep these pitching? Look, I get it. We have sucked in hitting, pitching, defense, and base running. So we just across the board, we've been pretty shitty. But as it relates to kind of the staff and trying to tease it out, exactly what's driving that, have confidence in the pitching group's ability to turn that around, and I think we've seen evidence of that with Ranger and Garrett, and, have the full confidence in that group to be able to get us on track. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and not one answer to the question.
Yeah.
That first line stuck out to me because it was hilarious, and then the next 40 words were nothing but garbage. I have some stuff here on John Henry, which is, again, just a bunch of bullshit falling out of Sam Kennedy's mouth, which is what he's become a professional at these days, saying that John Henry is still invested in the team and yada, yada, yada. Well, he's standing in the corner like Burnsy, creeping, breathing down shallowly on his fucking neck.
It's pronounced nuclear.
This is the other thing that struck me. Again, very rarely do you see a manager fired with that many of his staff at one time. Very rarely do you see it happen in the middle of a series away after you've just blown out a team 17-1. So this was preordained. It was happening on someone's schedule. I imagine John Henry found a gap in his Liverpool schedule and flew private into Baltimore, was there for a cup of coffee because he's not staying in Baltimore, and then went back to whatever island he was at. So they had to do it on, like, the timing of it does not make a lot of sense. It causes for more questions about dysfunction and why would you do it? Like, another question of why. And then I don't even know if anyone asked that question, but I'm sure it would be gobbledygook on why they did it when they did it. It's the timing. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, last response here is from the firing of Alex Cora were the players. I think the responses out of these guys show another clear split of Cora guys and let's get this guy out of here, look to the future guys. You could probably split that young and old. Roman Anthony came out with a full commitment towards his boy, his dabbed up boy, Chad Tracy. They're hitting Jaeger bombs at the club later. He said we can still win a World Series. All positive from the 21-year-old face of the Red Sox. He's looking forward. And then you get to 190 hitting, stick in the mud, Trevor Story, who sucks so bad and has basically the entirety of his Red Sox term outside of maybe last year when he was working for a contract. Here's some quotes from Trevor Story. Listen, they made it very clear that we get paid to. Oh, this is actually Whitlock after talking to Trevor Story on the phone. Sorry, tangent. Another management misstep. They didn't tell the players. The players all learned from social media and calling around and playing telephone. Alex Cora called Trevor Story to let him know. So kind of rightfully, the players were a little ticked at that, but he goes too far here. So Trevor Story hears from Cora. Cora's been fired. Trevor Story calls Whitlock. They have a bitch fest over it on the phone. Whitlock says this. Listen, they made it very clear that we get paid to play baseball, and we just need to focus on playing baseball. Whitlock said, repeating a similar refrain multiple times in a 5-minute interview. Garrett Whitlock, I was unaware that players had any other responsibilities than playing baseball as a player, but maybe they thought different. Because Story goes on to say something similar. If this shows us anything, it's that we're here to play baseball. You can tell real quickly when, people communicate together. They have the same phrase. You see this in politics all the time. They were both on the phone like, guess we're just fucking here to play baseball. They don't want our input on who actually coaches the team, huh? Oh, Whit? Yeah. They just want us to fucking go out there and play baseball like a bunch of monkeys for a cold $20 million a year. Guess we'll just go play baseball.
Unbelievable.
Pussies. That's it. We don't make decisions, Story says. We don't have any input on that. We're here to play baseball, and our job is to win games. I think that's the message. We have to find a way to win games. He goes on to say, it's just tough for the guys that were let go because some of the best coaches in the world, and they care more than anybody, just felt like they didn't get a fair shot at it. He says about management, they spoke. Story said of a team meeting. There just has to be more conversations had. I wouldn't say it was satisfactory in terms of communication from management. He said, we'll have our talk, but we haven't had it yet. One thing on just didn't get a fair shot at it. It's your responsibility. You're the players. You're going out there every day. You suck. It's your fault.
And this guy clearly needs his blankie. He needs to be put down for a nap. He needs a lot more than just what he's getting here. He's clearly a very needy player.
So here's the things that I think are going to here's some comments that I think are going to lead to the next steps for the Red Sox, and I'll tell you as we wrap up here. A story goes on to say, we talked about it, we hashed it out. Obviously, you heard how I felt yesterday about the whole situation. It's part of the process. It's having the conversations, having these tough conversations, whether you agree or disagree. At the end of the day, we agree we want the Red Sox to win. When asked about the direction of the team, he says, obviously, it's kind of up in the air what the true direction is. Those conversations that need to be had, and they'll be had today and ongoing moving forward. I came here to win, and I came here to be successful. Some of the direction needs to be cleared up a little bit, in my opinion. That sounds like a guy who is on his way out of town.
Out the door. Yeah. When you basically say that nobody here knows what they're doing, you usually don't get kept around.
Nope. And it would be the right decision. And they could, they said they could just designate. There's some guys in this team that they just, addition by subtraction, they're fully into the Breslow plan. I think he gets this year and next year. Maybe he doesn't even make it through next year if he can't pull this thing in the right direction. But they have to double down on their approach, and these young guys and anybody with animosity towards that in that clubhouse needs to go. I would start with Trevor Story, guys like Jarren Duran, just shitty attitude guys, and none of them are playing well anyway. Trevor Story's in 190 or something. So dump them for a bag of balls, designate them for assignment, bring some kids up, whatever. Get some energy in that clubhouse, because clearly that Cora pouty stink was rubbed off on these veterans, and they didn't like how it was all handled. But you got to go out there and win. And if you want to produce a product, you can't have whiny little bitches hanging around.
Just like we talked about in the last segment, sometimes you got to shake it up. Sometimes you got to shake it up on the court. Sometimes you got to shake it up in the clubhouse.
Totally agree. If you agree, go ahead, hit the subscribe, hit the like. Join us here every Tuesday at 8:30. If you're live with us tonight, stick around. We've got some Patriots talk, a little draft response, a couple tidbits here on the Patriots. So we'll be doing that in just a sec. Be right back.
I was getting late. Lights began to fade.
I've been talking a lot, Bobby. Give me your immediate reaction or response or thoughts on just the Patriots draft in general. What were your first takeaways?
I like the draft. I would say overall, it's a different draft when you're drafting from the position than they are now, from being in the top 5 the past couple of years. That you get different calibers of players and they have to make different decisions. So they trade up for a tackle, trade up for an edge. I think getting a tackle of the future or another high-end offensive lineman is a good thing for them. They're going to need tackle insurance. And if this guy just comes in and they do a best 5 thing where he plays guard this year, or he's basically the 6th offensive lineman because they have guys that could get injured, that's all well and good. Tackle's a premium position. The edge player, he's more of a play now guy. I think it could be a really good pick. I like the way he plays. He's big. He's physical.
Gabe Jackas.
Gabe Jackas, high school wrestler. So those guys are nasty. Tight ends, those are always developmental, but he's big. He's fast. He looks like a playmaker. Long arms, could be a good goal line target, the type of guy for Drake May. After that, it's all fodder. I mean, that's all just whatever. Maybe the running back sticks because he's a running back. So those are special team guys and backups. But, just like you said, they don't draft for need. Yeah, they 100% drafted for need. In the end, all that matters is if those guys can play.
Yeah, well, and that's the obvious point, but it's right. And the more obvious point is Toot again on fire. We told you they were going to draft for need. They did draft for need. And I think that's the biggest reason why the draft looks so good, because nobody knows if these guys can play.
Yeah.
Nobody has any idea. But when you, in your mind, if you're a fan or you follow the team and you understand where the holes are and what's important, and you look at that draft and you go, shit, if those guys pan out, we're going to be in good shape. It's like, well, yeah, you needed all those guys, and that's why you drafted for them. And that's what you did. You drafted at the position that you needed. So don't tell me that you don't draft for position of need. Like, it's
100%. That's what
obvious.
you do.
And I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. It all comes down to scouting. I have one second guess, knowing nothing about the players, just where they were picked. Gabe Jackas in the second round was picked right in the middle of the first run on tight ends. Yep. So they ended up with this Eli Raridan out of Notre Dame. They got him in the third round. He was the 8th ranked tight end in the draft, if that means anything for you. In the second round, when they took Jackas, they were a tight end picked before him and a tight end picked after him.
Yep.
So that's just the initial second guess we can look back on this year and the years to come is, did your tight end pan out? How good is your edge guy? Should you have taken one of those tight ends instead of the edge guy to help out Drake May? That's kind of something I'll be keeping an eye on. I like that they doubled down on tackle. Like you said, it's a premium position.
Yep.
And I like that they traded up for guys. I like that they identified guys and were not afraid to give up some capital to go get them in and around where they're picking. That shows me that they at least had some confidence or were, showcasing confidence in the guys that they picked.
I agree. I've talked about this with a few people. I mean, they say last year with their 2 4th-round picks, who did they get? Jared Wilson and Craig Woodson.
Yeah.
So to their point is you can get guys there. Well, it's still a crapshoot. They got lucky. Obviously, they identified the players and they got them. But this year, in a draft that isn't as good as last year, they moved up and they get 2 premium positions. You don't get starting tackles outside of the top 40 picks. You just don't. So they got this guy. And the same thing, edge, that's a defensive lineman. He's that's a frontline player. The guy's 265 pounds. You don't find good ones, again, outside of the top 2 or 3 rounds. So they are worth spending capital on if you have to go up there and get them. And at least to your point with the tight end's a developmental position. Most of these guys, they got to come in and they got to get a little bit bigger. They got to learn how to block, run routes. The tight end has to learn everything. They got to be in the running game and the passing meetings. So it is more of a developmental thing. And you can find tight ends in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round because they take time to develop. So at least with I am of the philosophy you're going to draft up front the big nasties. Spend the capital on the big guys. They're the ones that win the games. And yes, at least it showed draft that they were in control of their own draft in doing this. If they pick the right players and it works out, as long as Lomu isn't too zesty, I think we're good.
We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. It just looks like they had a philosophy. You look down, the only outlier maybe is that cornerback in the 5th round, and maybe that was a talent pick. Maybe they really liked him, and he was high on their board, and he was sitting there. We think he's not a need, but we did just hear rumor that Christian Gonzalez may be the swap for A.J. Brown, so who knows? We'll get to that in a second as well for Patriots news. But yeah, so they rounded out. They take another tackle in the 6th. They get a linebacker also in the 6th. And then that rat of a wolf, Elliott Wolf, on the day that Mike Vrabel is trying to clean up his marriage, goes and gets himself a quarterback, just like him and Papa Wolf like to do. Something named Baron Morton out of from Texas Tech. They got the pick out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, great.
The next Patrick fucking Mahomes kid.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he majored in like music or something. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be real helpful for us.
You got a running back and an edge to round that out. A lot of picks, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to see they had their philosophy going. And I agree with you. And it's probably easier to scout those. I know it's easier. It's easier to scout those guys in the top 3 picks because there's more tape on them, and they've played in high profile games. So you identify them there, and you kind of play the talent game in your pockets and need the rest of the draft.
And everybody thinks you did good because all the media and everybody outside, oh, you got this guy. They've been hearing about him in college and for years saying he's one of the best at this. When you're picking at 30, nobody knows those people. It's just whatever they read on whatever draft guide. Nobody knows who Caleb Lumu was.
Right. I'm just glad we're out of the Cole Strange, Bill Belichick era being smarter than everybody else. It's like just because if this guy gets hyped up in ESPN, I'm not taking him. I'm going to take the kid that's no one ever heard of from,
exactly.
Kyle Duggar from the fuck? What D2 school did he play with? Loyola State?
Yeah. Leona Ryan.
There you go. Yeah, I'm glad we're out of that era, that they're actually taking guys with a potential talent because, again, nobody knows who's going to be good. Not a single person. Nobody knows. Speaking of that, another person that does not know is Mike Vrabel. He knows less than he would have a year ago because he was not there on day 3 of the draft, taking care of his commitment for family counseling.
I'll tell you what, we got this one wrong. We got this one wrong.
This son of a bitch is not going away. New York Post just continue to drop bombs.
Just fucking laying the pipe on Mike Vrabel.
And now the internet's got a hold of it. It's like the Swifties are out there pulling up Spotify lists from 4 years ago and shit. We've got, potential love child out there. Diana Rossini, she deleted her Twitter as an NFL reporter with however many followers she had, just deleted it to delete the breadcrumbs. Yeah, so that's what you got going on. For us, we've said it right from the beginning. Is how is it going to affect the football team? That's kind of what we want to focus on. Is he going to be changed as a coach, as a leader? Some players spoke here at OTAs. I heard Hunter Henry, and who else spoke? Spillane.
Yep.
Both of them had nothing but positive things to say about Vrabel, as you would expect. But we'll see. Results will be the dictator of that. What do you think day 3 was like there? So he's got Cowden. Ryan Cowden's in the room. I don't think it's Elliott Wolf calling the shots, but do you think he was texting?
I was more thinking about how did this counseling session go for Vrabel when he's sitting there? Like, is he just sitting? Like, it is just it's a fucking disaster. This whole thing. Like, I can't even. It's so irritating. It's like we're childish enough to laugh at it because it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like when you just look at it from, we just went through this like awesome season where like everything changed for the Patriots. We're not hated. We're not this. Like we're on the come up. We got Drake May, people like Vrabel. We're a whole new thing, and then it just right into the muck.
Yeah. It's the Patriot way. That's the true Patriot way.
Yeah, it is. Just
Living in the muck.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for a long fucking time.
Apparently, I'll just say, living in the muck got 6 Super Bowls. So if that's what it takes, I guess we're here for it.
Yeah,
and we'll see how it goes. The whole counseling thing though was obviously a PR. Like,
oh fuck yeah,
you can just do the fucking counseling Monday. Like,
exactly.
You wanted the headline that you're going to miss a day in the draft. That's how seriously you're taking it.
Yeah, and like this whole thing is going to be resolved in one Sunday retreat in Utah.
Again, like these crisis managers, these sports teams, the Red Sox are the worst setup, but the Patriots have not been good traditionally either. Don't feed us bullshit, especially in the Boston market. We're going to see through it. We're going to call you out for it. Just act honestly, and you'll get respect. That was bullshit. Fucking missed day 3 of the draft for counseling. Just do it the next day.
I think Vrabel is going to need this to go away. I don't think he's the type of individual that could handle this long term. Like he's not Bill Belichick. Like you take like a certain type of like narcissistic asshole to be able to like deal with that. Like I just think Vrabel's was just having your run of the mill. I could do whatever the fuck I want. I'm just going to dick her down and whatever. But now that it's out there, like I think it's going to affect him. And like I don't think unless it goes away, I don't think he'll be as effective at what he does with this hanging over his head.
Yeah, it seems like a guy that on the outside doesn't care if you like him, but probably wants to be liked and respected. And if this tarnishes that, especially in his locker room, then that's going to be tough, I think, for him to get pulled out of. All right, last bit of news here. The AJ Brown rumors remain. The latest tidbit we got was the compensation for AJ Brown. The sentiment is a 2028 first-round pick from the Patriots. We also heard that Christian Gonzalez rumor, which I think is ridiculous if they do that.
What stupid! They'll never do that.
That's horrible asset management. But the 2028 first-round pick is interesting.
It's one of those things that when you think about it, well, it's like, oh, it's 2 years from now. Fuck it, do it now. We get the player for 2 years. It just the more I think about it, that's the dumber of the two. Just trade it for the second-round pick next year. Second-round picks half the time. The Patriots have been fucking them up for years, and their chance of success versus a first-round pick is just a totally different thing. So, second-round pick, 2027 draft, 100%.
Yeah. I think that there are a couple things at play. This deal was made in March. The Patriots agreed to send a first-round pick in March. That's the reason it's a first-round pick, and that's the reason things went quiet. If not, then Roseman would have been shopping AJ Brown this whole time, and you would have got 100%. The highest bid, and you would have done it at, he wouldn't have done it this draft because June 1st is the date, but he would still be shopping the player, and he would wait till August or like make AJ Brown sit out. Like he's a shrewd GM. He's not just going to take second-round pick and fodder. So I think that's why it's a first-round pick. I think the Patriot, that was the going run. Waddle went for a big
first and third, I think.
Yeah. So it was always rumored it was going to be a first-round pick, and then those went away, and I think that's because they backdoor dealed a first-round pick in March, and that's just what it is. I find it hard to believe that the Patriots would gain all of this leverage to this point and still give up a first-round pick. No, that deal's been in place.
Yeah, because that would make sense. As we've stated on the show, the longer they wait, the leverage swings away from the Eagles, but if you make the deal and give it away, but
right,
that's the only way. That's the only way it would stay that way.
I think it'll stay in a couple years from now, but I like that they're if that is true, I like that they are aggressive. I like that they're being aggressive and not trying to be the
Go for
smartest
it.
guy in the room. What a refreshing thing to see as a Boston fan. Like, not to
And
let the nerds take it.
they are going to need they're going to need a needle mover next year because their schedule's going to flip. They're not going to have the easiest schedule. Teams are going to be gunning for them. They're going to need somebody to move the needle, and they didn't get him otherwise. And AJ Brown can do that for 1 or 2 years.
Vrabel's head's going to be all tied up in knots with Rossini's panties or whatever. So
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to be getting the release that he was. He's obviously going to be more tense, so he's going to need to figure that out.
there you go. That's it for the Patriots. Go ahead and hit the subscribe, like button. I'll give you 30 seconds on the Bruins who stay alive tonight. Look, they did what I asked them to do. They gave me a playoff season to watch. There were some entertaining games. It was a wildly I'm saying it was because I'm just assuming the series is now over as they move to game 6. Wildly predictable outcome for a Bruins team that is their roster's just undermanned, and the top end of their talent is inconsistent. David Pastrnak, I'm sure that this is going to get shoved in my face as I've been a Pastrnak kind of hater, but scores your game winner in overtime. Big play for him. McAvoy's been kind of silent. The one guy I'll tell you is moving up to charts of respectability for me is Jeremy Swayman, who is really playing lights out. And we thought that he would crap his pants way before this. So, and we haven't talked about it, but I don't know if you saw it, but he's chirping out his bench on the game 4 where they got absolutely smoked. His defense was horrendous. I mean, the turnovers are just unbelievable. So he's bitching on his bench. And the game before that, it said potentially calling timeout from the ice when the Bruins are about to throw away another 4-goal lead, which never you see a player call timeout in hockey. It just doesn't happen. So maybe there's some leadership qualities from the business school graduate. I don't know, but you're gaining some respect there, Jeremy Swayman.
Maybe University of Maine had a seminar on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure he's got a leadership
online courses.
He's got an online leadership certificate hanging in his locker.
Paid off.
There you go. Okay, that was it. Rate, subscribe, review. We'll see if the Bruins can hang on until next time we talk about it live next Tuesday. Until then, we've got a brand new segment called 5 Questions from a Guy Named Rob and This or That from a Guy Named Dick. So there you go. These are going to be well, stick around. You'll find out. A lot of these were geared towards making fun of Raymond, who
I figured.
Yeah, we spent the weekend together, and he did his usual, making a fool of himself, not holding his liquor, and so a lot of that has to do with Rain. It would have been much better if he was here, but obviously he can't.
I'm sure that's a lot of what's going on today as well.
You would assume so. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah, very good. Number 1, puke on the streets of a foreign city 5 times or not be a giant pussy.
I'm gonna go with not be a giant pussy here, and that's my final answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good call. Also, if you need to get out of the Uber 3 blocks before your Airbnb to do said puking, up the 3 blocks to your Airbnb, and then not answer the door when the rest of your party gets home and the lock is not opening, and I leave you a threatening voicemail, and that's what you get. Don't be a big giant pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Learn to handle your liquor, Raymond.
Please.
Flip-flops or slides?
I am very interested in your answer here because you are Native American. So there could, but I also think there's no way you're tongue.
I definitely don't wear flip-flops. So I would go slides in this. But I don't particularly wear either of them generally. I have Crocs I'll slide on for the occasion. But in that instance, I'd go slides.
I'm flip-flops.
No, they're just flopping around. If I need to do a quick movement, you got nothing. You got no traction. You got nothing.
Yes, it has to be the right environment for sure. Right environment. It's got to be a real lazy, beachy day. But flip-flops is the vibe.
Unbelievable. Poor choice there. Are the Pistons frauds?
I don't know. It just might not be their time.
I'm gonna go with they are frauds because they're getting kind of manhandled by the Magic. It's not that they're just losing to the game. The Magic are they're completely outplaying and out hustling them, and the kind of like the Pistons. It isn't that they're supposed to be this gritty team. Cade Cunningham, he's supposed to be that sort of a superstar. It's not just talent. The Magic are just taking it right to him.
That's the Magic's MO though, and they've been doing this for 2 or 3 years. Like they were maybe a less talented Pistons teams for the last couple years, and Banchero, whatever the hell his name is, like he's a good player. They've got some good players on that team.
They do.
I I mean, I would not be surprised if the Pistons come back and are a strong contender for the next couple of years under Cade Cunningham, which I would say would make them not a fraud. And they just might have ran into a team against Orlando who they've kind of seen this a couple of times and they know what to expect, and it's a good matchup.
You could make the argument the Magic look like the best team in the East thus far.
Yeah. It's so opponent based in the playoffs, but yeah, when you're taking down the number 1 seed, it's gonna say a lot.
This was a head scratcher when I saw it. Rajon Rondo is a candidate to coach the Pelicans. Is this what's going on here?
Any other team other than Pelicans, this would not make sense, but it makes total sense for the Pelicans.
What are these? Who's running this team? Have they met the guy?
He's the owner of the Saints, right?
Is he? What? This is insane. This is a crazy decision.
Rajon Rondo. I was trying to think. He's never been on a staff, NBA staff, but I think he's done some coaching before. But yeah, he is a lunatic human being.
Yes.
I think people credit him as one of the best basketball minds that they've been around, but he is a maniac.
Correct. And so I hope they hire him, and then in a Pelicans Celtics game that Missoula pisses him off and Rondo just eviscerates him. So fingers crossed that happens.
We'll see. It makes sense for the Pelicans though, because they are a franchise that no one gives a shit about and make poor decisions all the time.
That is correct. Have to travel with a CPAP machine and make the entire world aware of how important your CPAP machine is, or not be a giant pussy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with not be a giant pussy here again. A little surprising answer, but that's where I'm gonna go.
CPAP. That's I didn't know he was also a Grampy, so that's cool. I'm gonna also go with not be a giant pussy.
Fucking guy in a CPAP machine. Yeah, no, that's the right answer.
Yeah,
That's the
I
right
know.
answer. Yeah.
CPAP. What a queer. Thoughts on the proposed 3-2-1 NBA lottery draft reform?
I don't know what this is.
I have it pulled up here because I needed to remember what it was. The NBA has disclosed to its 30 general managers a new anti-tanking reform deemed the 3-2-1 lottery, which includes expanding the lottery to 16 teams, flattened odds in a relegation zone, where the bottom 3 be penalized with fewer lottery balls for the number 1 pick.
Sure, for it. If they think it'll work, if the nerds did the math and they think it'll work, for it to get rid of the tanking. If it's an Adam Silver brain baby, I doubt it will work. But if you want to keep throwing weird rules at the bottom of the NBA to make things more competitive, for it, go for it.
The NBA is dumb, and that sounds really, really dumb. They could fix this with much simpler shit, but instead they choose to do something called the 3-2-1. They are very dumb.
I don't even understand the name of it, but
I didn't either, but that was the short little paragraph there, and it sounded cool. So
it doesn't sound like it'll work, but if at least I would like to make the effort. So
yeah,
okay, let's see what you got.
Exactly. Great job, guys.
Well done.
The WNBA season opens up May 8th. Who you got in the title game?
I got the Lady Bears. Lady Bears out of Cal.
I think I got UConn.
Yeah, go UConn.
Yeah, well, I'll go UConn. Line or no liner bathing suit?
No liner. Rip that thing out. You gotta live free, man.
I think once you're over the age of 7, you go no liner.
Yeah.
Now
the new ones have
once you have full bladder control, I think you're good.
Is that a bladder control thing?
Well, no, but I'm just like it was like an age appropriate joke.
Gotcha. That would have worked for Ray. He would have laughed. The new ones have like the actual like mesh like boxer short kind of thing, which I also don't like. Like too snug.
Yeah, it's like even the ones that I use as a bathing suit isn't like technically a bathing suit. They're just like shorts, but I don't like with ones where they don't have like pockets, like the real bathing suits. So they're ones with like zipper pockets, but it's like basically
yeah, it's the right fabric.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah, 100% Ray is a liner bathing suit guy.
Oh, absolutely. And he's when he's walking with his chicken nuggets to go sit outside and eat. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, one of his big gross nuts is hanging out the side of the liner, and he sits down to eat his nuggets, and some kid sees it and throws up.
He is gross.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Rams drafting Ty Simpson?
Like most things college sports, I don't know who the hell Ty Simpson is, but it seems like a smart move. Stafford's on his way out, and I did hear the phone call with him and McVay, and he sounds like a super dork. So that could go either way. But under McVay, probably going to have some success. Probably a good spot for Ty Simpson. I'm sure he's psyched.
Great spot for him. Unfortunately, I think it may be the end for Sean McVay in Los Angeles, because he's going to get one look at this freaking dweeb and be like, the second Stafford leaves, I'm getting the hell out of here. So I think the Los Angeles Rams just fucked themselves by losing the best coach they ever had.
Beautiful assessment.
Yeah. Do you scrub your butt crack in the shower, loofah, bar? How do you do it?
Yeah, now this one's a little bit more of this was not a Ray-specific question that came up from the weekend. It was another attendee who admitted that they do not actually scrub the inside of their butt crack.
They just go with the shower trickle-down method, just hope it cleans up?
Just kind of an outside rub, which we were all disgusted and baffled by. And then the extension is that, do you get how deep do you go with the loofah? Or are you just a straight bar guy? You have to be just a straight bar guy.
But I don't have a loofah. I just straight up bar. When I soap occasionally. I don't particularly give a fuck about that. I'm not particularly good smelling. I let the natural pheromones kind of take over.
Sure.
It helps with human attraction. You should try
as the natives do.
Correct. It possesses others, and it makes them come at me in a way which they don't understand. Yeah. And I've been doing it for years, so I suggest it.
Nice. No, that right there is the way the people used to do it, and maybe more should. And exactly. Maybe you're onto something.
Men had more testosterone then. There was just fucking raging boners all the time.
Yeah. Put your loofah away, you big giant pussies, and don't scrub your butt crack.
Exactly.
You can hypnotize folks in the world.
Exactly.
You come here for sports knowledge and for life knowledge, and if you didn't learn something right there, then I don't know what to tell you. If you did learn something, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Stick around with us tonight. We've got one more segment, the simplest minds of the week. We'll be right back.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
I will say, I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me. I dodged it, but it nicked me. A bit of a day walker myself.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as stupid does.
We've got 3 contestants here for the simplest minds of the week. We've got Ready for the Ramp, Jimmy the Bastard, and Mount Matumbode. This first one is Ready for the Ramp.
Oh, dude, this is so easy. I'm ready for the ramp.
So easy.
One more time, Ready for the Ramp.
Oh, dude, this is so easy. I'm ready for the ramp.
That's simplest minds of the week right there. That's as simple as you can get. And I like it. It makes me laugh.
That's great.
This next one's pretty good. This is called Jimmy the Bastard.
Hey, my name's Jimmy the Bastard. Watch this.
Oh, name's Jimmy the Bastard.
And it's like the guy.
Hey, my name's Jimmy the Bastard. Watch this.
The video guy starts laughing.
I
Oh,
know.
that's good. That's good stuff right
My
there.
name's Jimmy the Bust.
This last one's called Mount Matumbo.
Help me make a basket.
Make a basket. Come on.
I knew that was gonna happen when I saw the kid. It was still great.
He fucked that kid up, man. Right to the face. Good thing it was his dad. You could tell it was the dad. Picked him up right away. Oh, God. A little overzealous there, buddy. That was good. This has been the Semi Sports Show Friday. Friday Rewind Live. Wednesday. I've been saying Tuesday the whole time. Wednesday, April 29th. Again, rate, subscribe, review. Thanks for joining with us live here tonight. We will see you next Tuesday. Bobby and Ray will see you next Tuesday at 8:30. Talk a little more Boston sports. We're in summer hours, summer months right now. It's okay. Stick around with us. Rate, subscribe, review. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Fuck you, Langevin.